Alright, FNAF Help Wanted. Trust me when I say that I had a little mixed reaction when it was announced. I thought it was great. Sure, having FNAF's top scares in VR form. That was great, that's fine. On the other hand, however, FNAF decided to pick up the pieces of what FNAF 6 and Ultimate Custom Night basically concluded. And yeah, we continued the FNAF lore. Even though technically people would have been okay if Help Wanted didn't even came with lore, which Scott Coffin also stated that he could have made Help Wanted without the lore. But he chose to do it anyways. But other than that, FNAF Help Wanted was a fantastic game, and a game that most likely I will play in the future. But why am I discussing about Help Wanted? Well, then came the DLC. The Curse of Dreadbear DLC. Okay, at first we had what? Without the DLC we had oh, it's a digital copy of William Afton. Psych, no he's not. He's actually William Afton himself. His digitized form that has now been, who has either stuffed us like the missing children incident, mind switch with us, or basically locked us inside our own mind. But then came Curse of Dreadbear DLC, where you found a key in the Fruity Maze. No, not Fruity Maze. Like the Corn Maze. You found a mask, and suddenly it introduced us to a mysterious voice, to which we later known as Vanny. Basically, William Afton essentially mind hopped into someone, and is now have created the reluctant follower. Vanessa, or Vanny, basically being the new big bad at Security Breach. And so the hype train was real. Well, before we saw what actually happened. But there was a lingering thought and one theory that Matt Pett did that really turned my gears. Could it be possible that there was going to be a cult of Afton? Now, I know that people are going to make fun of me for still believing the cult of Afton theory. Honestly, go ahead, make fun of me all you wish. But I just think the cult of Afton could have been a great storyline for FNAF moving forward. The possibilities it could work with, as well as new intriguing characters. Some who I believe could have been more worser than William Afton. Take his moralities, takes his people who worship his moralities, basically viewing him as some sort of omnipotent god, and I don't know, it sounds cool on paper. Obviously, but it right now in the games is just showing one character, one person being infected, instead of the Trojan horse of it being on every single people's houses, because security breach. I mean, not security breach. Fazbear Entertainment and their lack of caring about their customers, considering what they still keep open from how many oofed off children. So, what about? But there was one thing that caught my attention when I was reading through the Fazbear Frights novels. Could the ritual from Step Closer be the same thing as the agony transfer ritual from the Plush Trap Chaser? Alright, stick with me on this one, alright? So there are two things that really bug me with those two stories. All have to do about Andrew's infection, Andrew being a stand-in for Cassidy, and their origins. In out of stock, the shop workers said the Plush Trap Chaser wasn't like that when they sold it. And also, it was a modern toy It was a modern toy when the man in the room was decades ago because Fetch and because, well, the Stitch was already in action. So that means the plush trap chaser was okay before someone purchased it and returning it to the same place. Almost like someone bought the plush trap chaser so they can do a ritual on it and then return the cursed item back to the shop. But if Jake found it, that means the plush trap chaser has Andrew's rage in it, which was weird. So I thought, whoever purchased the toy found a way to infect it with Andrew's agony, aka, or if you want to call, or in whatever you want to make this in FNAF terms, Cassidy's agony, probably using an actual infected object and transferring the agony into the plush trap. But how and why? And then I think on Step Closer while I was reading it when I was bored. At first, the story didn't seem to be Andrew related, because the ritual that in Blackbird's epilogue was discovered Jake took Foxy, so it is. That makes me think, what if the ritual was transfer Andrew's agony from the object of Foxy? That would explain both the rituals and Jake taking Foxy. And what if the original plush-up tracer owner did the same, explaining how Jake located an infected Andrew object when the toy was just released? Now I know I just whipped a flashbang of technique of information, so let me just put this in simplest terms. It kind of bugged me that the plush strap chaser that was the main antagonist of Out of Stock was seemingly returned. As in someone had it and it's either the one responsible for it, as well as the reason why the main protagonist gets like harassed by the plush trap chaser. So I'm just thinking to myself, man, it's either this was unintentional or very intentional. And really think about this. Who in the right mind would literally use basically anything that was supposed to be children's entertainment and turning it into psychotic killers? Good old William Afton himself. And really think about it. If they decided to pull into the Cult of Afton route, they could literally say that, well, yes, Fazbear Entertainment allegedly fixed the problem that happened, or, maybe Vanessa could just say all is good when she's indeed lying, then basically thousands of people in their houses, in their homes, are getting infected by the glitch trap virus, being controlled by William Afton, and now having a piece of him in them, corrupting their psyche, and now basically following the way of the Afton. Ooh, that's a good story. But this also makes me think, we had Andrew, we had William Afton, we have a greater evil, but it could be more people involved. We have like lots of people in all. Like, we don't only have the ritual or the plush trap owner. We have a garage sale. We have Fazbear Entertainment doing stuff like in Gumball Angel and Lonely Freddy. I mean, isn't it a coincidence that Fazbear Entertainment is just bringing out all these stuff? Oh yeah, we have this thing that basically makes a person turn into a freaking candy amalgamation. So let's just feed that to the children. Or yeah, we have a Lonely Freddy that's going to follow lonely children. But oops, let's not mention the fact that if the children's along with the Freddy too long, the Freddy will just basically mind swap with them. I can't be the only one who thinks that's a little suspicious. And at this point, we know Fazbear Entertainment is back on the air. Like, with Freddie and, I mean, not Freddie, with William and Henry now supposedly DED, and you can't see it, but I'm doing air quotes because we all know William Afton's still around. Basically, Fazbear Entertainment, either a group or something, like maybe a group that follows Henry or the OG staff of it, are back on the air trying to keep Fazbear Entertainment rolling. I think that's the reason why Help Wanted was existing, to get rid of the bad PR so they can move forward to a new beginning. But maybe, just maybe, with the cult of Afton, some of the workers of Fazbear Entertainment would get infected by it. Then it will basically be passed forward to the customers, thus having a cult of Afton. And honestly, with the cult of Afton, it could be a good storyline to watch unfold. Seeing people viewing William Afton as a benevolent god, taking his morals and running with it. And, it could also help out when, when the game don't even follow Vanny no more. I mean, if Vanny supposedly DED back in the Secret Afton ending in Security Breach, then, because we never really got what happened to her. And trust me when I say, I will be discussing what I think is going to happen in the DLC the Ruin DLC. But whatever the case may be, if Vanny supposedly is dead, then we know that with the Cult of Afton, we can just bring in more people. Heck, we could even introduce some new characters. Maybe Patient 46 or who knows. And heck, we could even make some new villains. Some villains who sees the morality of William Afton and basically twisting it in their own way, causing these new rabbit killers to essentially become more dangerous than William Afton ever was. And heck, this is just fantasy booking, but what if we also down the line in FNAF's game future, we have a FNAF future where there's literally a civil war between just followers of Afton, one who follows his belief and others who think they are greater than William Afton. A good old insight fighting against the cult, with us stuck in the middle. And you laugh at that idea. I know that sounds silly and unbelievable and never going to happen in 1,000 years. But then we have Fazgoo. And the fact that William Afton and the Blob is still around, kind of showing that Michael and Henry's sacrifice was for nothing. And the fact in one of the stories, the whole world got destroyed by cancer. Or did it? So honestly, I just don't put it past FNAF. Like, anything can happen in this game world. So that's going to be the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you think about this theory. Like the video so I know you guys enjoy. Comment down below what you want me to react to next. And subscribe. We're trying to upload daily. This is 1Gamer54 signing off.